we'll go through these supplemental slides. Supplemental slides for us are just something that not worthy of a whole presentation, but there is things that we want to make just some quick reminders on. So we've got just a few topics here. This is kind of our list, and again, I'll go through them very quickly. I will go through this process, and if you have questions, submit them in the Go Soapbox, and I've got folks out there that probably be able to answer some of those questions even better than I can. So just the first, topic we want to address is the EPBID numbers in Infinite Campus. We're finding there's still over 5,000 teachers with blank licensure numbers. If you remember, we did make a change of where we put that data in Infinite Campus, but if you had the data in there previously, we did work with Infinite Campus to load it into the new place. The intent is to make it a little bit easier on you as far as the data entry goes. This information is used. It's also used in the Munis system, so there is a report that you can run to look and see which teachers are missing IDs. We'd like to ask that you go ahead and get those updated. The report, there's a lot of data that is needed for those reports, and we're trying to get away from use of Social Security number even in the lead process in the Munis, not Munis, but the Educator Professional Standards Board, and we need this ID to eliminate that need for Social Security numbers. So this is one of our last systems where we're not using it for our matching purposes. So we want to make sure that we do get this data information. There is information in the Census Staff Information Data Standard that can give you additional details on what is needed and how to enter that data. So please work with the folks in your office that in your district that do this, and make sure that we're getting some of that data entered before the end of the school year, and it becomes a practice for next year and going forward. So we got some end of the year reminders for e-transcripts. We've talked about it earlier in the dual credit. Verify your difficulty level and your diploma is there, but also verify the diploma type, the PESC mapping is set correct. This is something that has to be done each year, so really make sure that's right so those reports will be correct. Our universities use the e-transcripts to load their systems electronically. That way, nobody's having to key their data in, nobody's having to scan PDFs or anything like that. So it's really important that the e-transcripts, that is the standard for Kentucky, the e-transcripts. We've told universities this is our standard. They actually pay part of the cost of the e-transcripts to help ensure that they'll get the data in a standard format. It might be nice when that student comes in that they want a copy of their transcript, but what the university wants is the electronic transcript, I assure you. So post all graduation data before creating the final transcripts. We mentioned that earlier. Use the e-transcript batch with the e-transcript Kentucky Standard Final Report to send the final transcripts, and just inform the graduates that their subsidy is going to run out by the end of August. So we need to make sure that they have what they need before that period of time to avoid having to pay the cost of an electronic transcript. We do have some KDE Report submissions that are done every year. Some of this information we've already covered with the end of year. And I want to plug that new end of year checklist. I hope you find is much more helpful than what we've had in the past. We've tried to put information together that made sense. But if you have information, you have some suggestions for us, we're always open to that. But the report submission is a separate document, and that separate document lists all the reports submissions throughout the whole year. We were a little bit late this year updating that, but we will see the 22-23 one updated by this summer. But verify that all the information that you're aware of, these reporting time frames. There's areas of how the data is being reported, and somebody in your district has that responsibility if it's not you. We have the KEYS report. We did mention this one earlier. It is due by June 30th. Make sure your kiddos are getting the extra money for the extra bump up for the dual credit. Make sure you've got that set, dual credit and the advanced coursework. They'll get the 5-point scale instead of the 4-point scale. It does help them. Make sure you're not missing kids and as you do that. And work with Kia if they have any questions at all. The quarantine attendance group reminder. This is something that all the districts should be verifying that the COVID positive QCP and QCE attendance groups have end dates. We found a lot when we did some quality assurance at the state level that did not have end dates. So please use the ad hoc that was state published to do some verification that all your attendance groups do have the end dates on those. This information does have to be reported to the Legislative Research Commission and to legislators by the end of the school year. So this is something we need to do no later than June. School profile courses report. Please run the school profile courses report this year. If you've not done it already, it's important to make sure the information is accurate for the school year. If it's not, it may be that there's a setup issue that could affect you in other areas too. So if you have questions, there is a quick reference guide or quick reference card that's linked to this presentation that provides the information on that. And if there's any questions around the course setup, the standards at education.ky.gov team is ready to help you. We do have supplemental school year program graduation data. This information is, it's an in status. It should be the same as last year. So if they graduated last year, but they chose to come back and attend another senior year, and they, through this SSYP program, they're still a graduate with last year's date on it. Don't update the in status, still use the same date. It's important that those things don't change for the graduates in this program. The TEDS data system, the technology education data system, that system, a lot of that information is entered into the Infinite Campus, and it's exported into TEDS. So really important to make sure that data is correctly entered. Credits earned count for specific pathways, and we want to make sure that we're having all the information we need for state and federal accountability. So please provide the information to your TEDS coordinator and make sure that you know who that TEDS coordinator is, who has that responsibility, and they have the access that they need. The TEDS tab access, this is what really recovers, making sure you have the information that you need. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to Claude Christian on this. There is some new OCTE staff. That's the Office of Career and Technical Education that they have management responsibility for that TED system. But Claude Christian and Sherry Craig are two contacts that you'll want to be aware of, and make sure your TEDS folks know who to contact. We do have some end of year training scheduled with Infinite Campus. It's not our training, it's actually Infinite Campus has scheduled this training. This is their end of year. So similar to what we've done here with our end of year checklist, they'll go through maybe some of the same information that we've covered, but more from an Infinite Campus perspective than a Kentucky specific perspective. But that is scheduled from May 3rd through the 5th. It's free, and you can find a list of courses through these links and sign up.